Welcome to a New Human podcast. This show is a place where we find out who we truly are and what we strive to be. Listen as we unravel current history and make our way to a new beginning. I am your host, Justin Klein. All of them that I had to have and learn from because I need to know what that feels like when others are doing it,
Yeah.
and how they feel and how
Mhm.
what addiction they're going through. I need to know, like, hey, I know how you're feeling because I felt that before. With this being said, all the feelings, again, back, I keep going into feeling.
Feeling.
I'm feeling that's how this is possible, and I can teach this is because I can feel it. And I hope deep down others can feel this too, when they look within and can feel and really just get quiet with themselves and shut off the phones, shut off everything. And if you could just have 5, 10 minutes together with yourself and God and just listen. Don't think, don't watch any of your thoughts, don't try to create a thought. Just go still and numb for 10 minutes and listen and see what you see what you feel, see what you hear. You're gonna hear, feel, see something,
Is
you
that how
know?
you're merging
That's how I'm connecting. Yeah, I'm
your
transcending.
3D?
We have my beautiful wife sitting next to me. She is gonna be co-hosting, and giving me questions today,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna let her take the lead on this, and I'm in the hot seat, I guess.
the hot seat. You
Yeah,
get all the good questions.
yeah,
Yeah, so hi, I'm Chelsea and the wife, and I'm gonna ask Justin some questions today
right on.
to kind of get his story. He's been interviewing and asking everybody their stories, and I think it's really important that we hear his story today,
For sure.
to share his point of view. And, I kind of shared my point of view of our story, and it's kind of nice to have the opposite and see what he has to say.
I grew up on a farm in small town Iowa, and at the time, my parents were together and, had a sister, and it was pretty much just me, my sister, and dad and mom on a farm, and to get going with everything from the story, parents didn't get along too well, ended up getting a divorce, and that's when memories started to really sink in, emotions, and before that time, before the divorce, I don't really recall a whole lot, uh, because I think it was right around when I was 6 years old.
Is that a hard time for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's where life started in my eyes. I mean, it was, I guess this game of for any kids out there, divorced parents, I think we can all relate to this is it's, a huge duality. It's mom, dad, good, bad, and so there's a lot of picking and choosing, and I don't think when you're a child,
It's
you're just doing what your parents say,
Yeah.
you
It's not
know?
like today with co-parenting and
No, no,
making it
this was
easy.
completely different in the '90s, like, it was just and growing up Catholic and stuff, so that was another thing where we were constantly going to church and, had a good faith around the community and everything like that, and, but it was a huge no-no to get a divorce too, so there weren't a whole lot of divorced families in the small town that we were from.
Yeah.
But again, that's kinda when everything started to change. I wanted to many of my friends, their parents were still together, so I was kind of, again, this outsider,
Mhm.
and then, mom going to her on a weekend, going to dad on a weekend, going to, well, this is my time, this is her time, didn't matter if it was a certain holiday or
Who did had custody?
dad did.
He got custody
Yeah,
though.
dad had custody, and
Full
so
custody.
yes, and so we would see mom a day a week, I believe, and then every other weekend.
And
Um,
did you like that situation? Did you think that was fair? Is
no,
that what you wanted?
no, it was in my eyes, it was terrible. I hated that situation just because and again, for all parents out there that are divorced, like, putting this story is to help those kids and share it with the kids, and by the way, this show is PG friendly. there might be a couple swear words in it, but,
Yeah.
it's really friendly, so but back to the kids and the adults, you know, parents, I think they focus so much of it on them and not the child and
Mhm.
what it's actually doing to the child. Even if it's a simple small fight, it's still in their eyes or let's say you're talking
Negatively.
negative about one and another, your kid's listening to your dad talk bad about his mother and vice versa.
Yeah.
Mom's talking bad about dad, so you start painting pictures
Mm.
based on your parents' views
Right.
and not only that, during the time frame of
So the programming starts.
yes, I'm in my subconscious mind, like, so they're saying, 7 years and prior, I mean, and this has happened at 6 and then 7. So I'm downloading what my mom's saying, what my dad's saying, what my
Yeah.
dad's doing, what my
Making you
mom's doing.
judge your
Well,
parents.
and I felt like I was like Stretch Armstrong, if you all remember that toy out there. I
Mhm.
was getting one arm pulled one way, another arm getting pulled the other way, my mind going one way, my mind going the other way.
Used as a pawn.
Yes, and what people didn't I don't think at the time understood about me, like, how empathic and how emotional I was, but I had to hide my feelings and hide my real tears and how I felt because of judgment, I was worried about what friends and other people were thinking, and then when I was with my dad, I was worried what my mom was thinking, and then
Mhm.
vice versa, I was with mom, and I wonder what my dad's thinking of me, you
But I
know?
remember you saying you had a constant during that. Can you tell me who your constant, like, person was that you had to go to?
To lean on?
Yeah.
My grandparents?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was that in there, so being raised in that midst of the family, we were very fortunate to have grandparents, 10 miles away,
Yeah.
and they would take us in and teach us their ways, and I think if anybody's a parent out there, you understand that now, like, the role grandparents do have on grandkids is they're the fun ones.
They were
They're
your safe
yeah,
place.
yeah, fun, safe, you're learning less valuable
Yeah.
lessons, like old time lessons. I mean, my grandpa Joe, I just called him Joe, we all the grandkids just called him Joe, but he was one of the most important role models growing up in my life, and this was a guy that, was born from 1923, didn't have much, electricity wasn't huge, and then get to see all this evolve, so I got to hear some old stories and not only that, he was a huge, huge faithful, Catholic
Yeah.
man, like, he was going to church in Latin, and I remember going, "Oh, we gotta get to church before it starts because we gotta say the rosary, and we gotta do this," and I'm like and it's in Latin, and I'm like, "I don't even understand what they're saying. Why
Right.
are we doing this?"
Right.
But it was again, I was just trying to impress my grandpa, and really I'm not saying this was all bad, like, Joe, he kept me in line, and same with my dad, like, he was teaching hard work to me, at the time as a
You got your
kid
work ethic
from
from Joe that handed down to dad that handed down to you.
yeah, all farmers,
Right.
and it wasn't like, you clock in from 8 to 5 going to work, and when the job's done, that's when the day's done.
Yeah.
You don't just halfway feed all your cattle or half feed them. You feed them all, or you're combining corn at night or whatever it was, and there's an acre left. Well, I got to finish it, because
Right.
it's just there's an acre left, So that was the I don't know, painting the picture of what I was growing up in on a farm, and then the battle
Did you like
between
working on a farm?
I did, like,
You did.
honestly, I did. Yeah, like, growing up, the farm life was I thought I was gonna be it. I mean, I remember, my grandpa Joe, we would spend weeks out there at a time, and we would get ready to go to bed, and we're saying our prayers before going to bed, and then now was the fun part. We got to talk about, like, dreams, and dreaming, and I remember Joe always, like, saying to me, like, "What do you wanna be when you grow up?" And I'm like, "A farmer."
Mhm.
And this was the time 'cause I did enjoy it. Joe was my grandpa was helping dad farm or however you wanna paint that picture, dad was helping my grandpa farm too, and then I was a tag-along wheel, that just learning the ropes, and then at a young age, I mean, I was driving tractors and started growing up and then taking care of our own pigs or my own pigs for another guy. Going through school, I think, I'll go into school right now, in the teen years. I think every child when they get into those teen years, they're so confused and just how I was, and I thought everybody had it out for me, like, I was trying to fit in, and then I didn't know who I was really, and again, I think a lot of kids
Where
feel that way.
where do you think the tough exterior came from?
Well, I think I was wearing that tough exterior mask because I was scared of what others really could see in me or thought of me, so I put on this
Were you
tough
being judged
tough
at the time?
exterior. I don't know, I mean, I could feel it from others. I feel like now looking back and on my journey, I've always been very empathic and could pick up other people's thoughts and what they were thinking, and now that I'm in my journey, I realize it's a reflection of me, so it's like
Mhm.
I'm judging them, they're judging me, and where do I sit? And then some of my, you know, it was
Well, I
just
just remember you saying you were kind of uncomfortable as a teenager, sometimes people weren't the nicest about your parents
mhm.
or their situation or,
Well, can it was
having somebody always there to
mhm.
watch over you, where we're constantly with our kids, you didn't really have that guidance.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was freedom, because
You
it
were excited because you didn't have, as a kid, you're like, I can do whatever I want.
right, and but prior to those teen years, it was on mom's time, on dad's time, on grandpa's time, on whoever's time it was never Justin's time. I was on always on somebody else's time, and then it came to 14, and then teenage years and parents
What
or
happened at 14?
well, that's where, I got to choose who I wanted to live with and what I wanted to do really. I mean, at that point, it was I got to pick to go see my dad when I wanted to. I got to go pick and see my grandpa when I wanted to. I got to pick and see my mom when I wanted to. So this is where stuff started changing. The freedom was
Was your
my
dad mad that you chose that?
I mean, I think so, or I don't know if I would call him mad. I think his feelings were hurt because
That you chose mom?
yeah, I mean, and as a dad, and if we were to go through those same scenarios, I would feel the same way. I think
Hurt,
any
right,
parent would like,
or
well,
loss.
like I guess they're going to pick my mom. I wasn't good enough,
Right,
or what did I do? I don't know what I did.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
so there was that, but my biggest thing was just the freedom, getting to go where I wanted to go.
Mhm.
I didn't feel controlled, but in that too, you're 14, teenager, going through everything, and at that point, I really grew up fast. I mean, I was working and partying and playing
At
sports and
14.
getting into trouble and
Okay.
driving and kinda doing it all, and then get into a little bit, 12th grade, I'm gonna say right now. I had thought I was a man already, like,
Senior year.
senior year, and I already knew what I was gonna do in life. I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm going to Wyoming for college, I'm gonna work on cars. I mean, I knew that at 16. I
Yeah.
knew I was going out to Wyoming to work on cars. So I guess I just grew up fast. I was very
Were you always working on cars? Like, how did
yeah.
that get
Well,
introduced?
that was dad, and
Yeah.
that was, again, the work.
He liked to
My
work on them and
yeah, my father was a very mechanically inclined individual. He could do something with his hands or learn it, and that's how I was. So that's what I was taught. So it was just on a farm, everything breaks down, so you're constantly fixing it, and we didn't have much money at the time.
Mhm.
I don't think anybody did in the '90s, so you're always just
Right.
working with what you had or welding or fixing, and then it was like, "Huh,"
When you could fix a car.
Right, and then I remember dad got me this, old pickup truck, and it was rusty, and it was ugly, and I'm like, I wanna make that pretty." I always
Mhm.
liked making things pretty, and same with art, I like
Yeah.
painting pictures, making something pretty. So that's where I developed that passion, but that being said, I was a teenager into the drinking years, and I started drinking and partying at the time, in high school, it wasn't for grief, I don't think, or it was just to be social and to be that
Yeah.
guy, and I
Be
liked
the life of the party.
yeah, I liked how
Yeah.
it felt. I was invincible,
Yeah.
so I started drinking, in the high school years, and, um got in trouble with the law from drinking.
Mhm.
And again, this is where, my life started changing, can't no longer drive, so I have to ride my bicycle
Mm.
everywhere, so I'm riding my bicycle to work, and also, I'm not hanging out with my friends as much. I couldn't drive anywhere. Well, that just kept me at home, and I started really looking within myself and what I'm doing and feeling the judgment from the community, like, "How did he do that? How didn't his parents know?" Or all of this stuff coming from the small
Right.
community, you know? So it was just I started feeling at that point pretty lonely, and I was ready for bigger and better things, I thought for me, like, I'm like, "Oh, I can't wait to get out of Iowa and,
Right?
head for the mountains and begin my new life, make a name for myself." That's what it was all about at this
That
point.
18-year-old dream.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm 18, I'm done with school, I'm going to college,
Mhm.
I'm 800 miles from the nearest soul that knows me. I mean,
Yeah,
it's me and my best
you start
friend
over.
that are going out there, and, yeah, we head out to Wyoming, and from there, it's the real world.
Mhm.
I don't got mom anymore. I don't got dad anymore. I got my own bills. And then on top of that, I'm going to school, 50, 60 hours a week. So I had no time for a job. Me and my best friend Jordy would get plasma, and make, it was a good living. I think it was like 300 bucks a month or something like that, but that'd give us enough money to,
5
buy,
year?
buy groceries. And we're like, penny pinching here, like, it's like 20 bucks at the end of the week, 24 pack of beers, like 16 bucks. Well, I guess we get 4 ramen noodles because that's 4 bucks, so that's it.
Right.
And I mean, it was tough, like, you really we were just surviving at that point, but I had my freedom again, and I'm going back to freedom,
Mhm.
like, we're in the mountains camping, living off of,
Living the life,
yeah,
fishing,
fishing,
camping,
baked beans, beer.
backroading.
Yeah, off-roading, having running with the wild horses,
Right.
seeing nature, and honestly, at that point in my life, it was the best some of the best moments of my life because I just felt so free-spirited.
But I do remember Jordy telling me stories of fights
Oh, yeah.
and drinking too much and, you were kind of rebellious too.
I was.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
outlet.
yeah, and I think that was, again, the alcohol,
Mhm.
would bring out those times, but even then, touching on alcohol, we're gonna bring that up many times in this story, because I am a recovering alcoholic, and with that, I never knew, like, I think each stage was something new, like, during high school, it was to be the life of the party, to
Mhm.
be fun, to be outgoing. I felt invincible. College, it was more socializing and meeting new kids because in this school I went to, there was probably only 4 kids from Iowa. I mean, but it
Mhm.
brings in all these other states, like, we had friends from Idaho, friends from Kansas,
Yep.
friends from Alaska, all over the country, so you're just trying to fit in and make this, again, name for yourself,
Right.
essentially. But there were some good times there, like, really, really good times, and, we fast forward from there, I come back to Iowa, graduated from college, and now it's into the real world again. I start my career here,
Yeah.
and, same thing, I'm still
And how
drinking.
old were you? How long was the college?
9 months, so I
So, like
graduated when I was 18,
yeah, so you're in the real world
at
at 19
19, just
years
hit
old, just
19.
like, "Okay, throw me in,
Yep.
let's get going."
Yeah.
So you came back to Iowa.
Yeah, I came back to Iowa and started my career at a collision center that I was there for almost 8 years, but
Mm.
I, uh, I made a name for myself. Anything I did, like, it was starting small and working up the totem pole, and, which was great. I was a huge hands-on guy, auto body work and, paint work on automobiles, and then
Making a good living
yes,
and
made a good living, and then from there kinda graduated up the ranks, or went into the office world and
yeah,
started learning about business and numbers, and really had no want to do that.
but before that,
Yeah,
you met me.
I did. Yeah, in that
Yeah, so
in that
you
journey.
just kinda jumped over that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was just about the work career,
Yeah.
like, if we go back to, we're at 18. graduated, 19 starting my career,
Um,
meeting you at 21. We were young, meeting Chelsea, and, that's where I start changing again, like, I was figuring myself out, um, and just working really, really hard because I
mhm.
wanted to again make a name for myself, and I wanted things.
Right.
So I was just working hard and met you, but then it changed because now it wasn't so much about work and it was about love and lust. Like, it was just my life changed. I was, hanging out with my family all the time, and then I meet you, and now it's not so much about my family and it's about you
Did they,
because
like
no, I mean, honestly, and who would, but I think that's how it goes when you meet somebody in this world. They shake your knees and you just cannot stop thinking about them. I mean, that's what it was with you,
Aw,
was just nonstop thinking, and I'm like, "I wanna be with you, I wanna do this, I
yeah.
wanna do that," and I think
We were, like, obsessed with each other.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I was wanting to impress you, and you were impressing me, and then we're just I mean, really could not get our hands off of each other, you just knew right then
But
and there.
we
An hour and a half away.
an hour yeah, hour and 45 minutes apart.
Mhm.
So, the time we could spend, we were just oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're met, and then you move up to where I'm at since, I had just bought an acreage and, like, did not wanna move. I mean, that was, like, one of my
Yeah,
stipulations, like,
that was a hard that was a hard
yeah,
one. That
uh
was a hard one we had to go through in our life because I
right.
was settled. I had my career.
Yep, you were self-employed
I was
doing hair.
self-employed. I loved my town, my family,
Yep,
and yeah, that was a hard one.
right.
But you
Yeah,
decided for me to come up, but I
yes,
didn't come up until you proposed.
yep, so we're engaged at this
Yep.
point, and that was 22 engaged, but
Mhm.
within 9 months, like, we knew, and then you
Yeah, he
came up.
proposed after 9 months.
Yeah, again, well, just because it was we were together all the time, and I think when people know, you know. I mean,
Well,
there's
you were
just
scared because I remember the exact conversation. We were laying in bed and we were talking about marriage, and I was excited to get married. I was ready. I was 28 years old and ready for that next chapter, and all I had seen is love and great relationships.
right,
And you told me, you're like, "I don't know. Everybody in my family is divorced. My parents, my aunts, my uncle, like, I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't know if this is, you know, can I be successful in
right,
this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, 'cause
yeah.
it's us."
Yeah, it was,
You know?
the only real marriage I had seen up to that point that was successful was my
Your
grandparents,
grandparents.
and I think that was
And you got really close with my parents, and
yeah,
my parents had been married for, at that point,
for how long?
forever.
But I'm saying I seen more divorce than
Yeah,
I
you
did
had seen more bad
together,
than good.
so I was scared to get
Right.
married because it was like, I do not wanna,
You don't wanna
repeat.
be another
Well, I don't wanna repeat
statistic.
yeah, and what happened with my family, and I'm like, I don't wanna repeat that scenario, but it was just I think and that's where it was, even with raising kids in our family, was I seen what I didn't want to do.
Mhm.
I didn't know what out the other side was like, dark, good,
Mhm.
this duality. I didn't know what it felt like or even I couldn't really picture it the best, but I just knew so much
Yeah.
that I was not going to get a divorce no matter what. Like, we would make it through anything.
And you
And
wanted to
then
be a parent.
yes, and I knew I wanted to be a parent, and I'm like, at this point, like
At that point, you were like, "I need to have a lot of kids."
yeah,
Yeah, you wanted
yeah,
to have, like, 5,
right.
and I was like, "I don't know if I even wanna have any."
Yeah, you're like,
'Cause
I don't
again,
even
I was gonna be
yeah,
30, and I was
right,
like, "I'm good. I'm settled," but you really wanted them.
yeah. We
Yeah,
had our first child, Emmett.
in August.
Yeah, and at that point, you were still doing hair, your own business,
Mhm.
and I was looking to expand my business. I had Klein Customs,
Well, because you were
and
working at
a business.
McGrath,
Yeah, a
and
business and
then
also moonlighting is that I
yeah,
call it.
you were working at night in
Yeah,
our shop at home
yeah, that was
all
almost a
hours
year and
of
a
the
half.
night, restoring old vehicles. I remember that.
Yeah, so it was, like, just working a ton, but I had dreams of owning my own shop and being self-employed, and I
Yeah.
knew that from the get-go when I was a young man. I'm like, because growing up on the farm, again, it was just
Mhm.
you work until the job's done. I'm like, I can't just work 8 to 5 for some man and not myself.
Yeah.
And so we're just grinding away, trying to make as much money as possible.
Yeah.
And then a shop came up for sale, a bigger shop, and it was like, okay, let's pull this trigger.
And I was scared,
Yeah.
but I knew that's the one thing about you I've always known from day one was whatever Justin puts his mind to will come true.
Mhm.
Even though, like, I'm the list maker, I'm scared, I'm gonna think of every bad thought,
Yeah.
and he's like, "No, let's do it.
Yeah.
We're good.
Ready
I
to
got
jump
it."
in.
And I'm not gonna fail because he has the best work ethic.
Yeah.
He knows how to work and has always been a hustler.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think
but
it's,
it was scary because we just had a baby. You were 23, 4, 5,
20
something like that,
yeah.
and you wanna buy a business.
Mhm.
That wasn't cheap, for
Yeah, it's a lot
a
of
young
money. Well,
couple.
not only that, the responsibility of employees now.
Yeah,
Because before I had our business, too, as just me by myself, you were doing your by
yeah.
yourself, and then I'm also working for somebody. But this was like we're putting all of our chips in, like it's
We gambled.
yeah, I'm like, I got a full house right now,
Yeah,
and that guy's got 2 pairs, so
yeah,
I'm good. It was always close. It wasn't, always for me solid, but I always thought no matter what, I had the upper hand. I had that mentality like, this is gonna be okay,
yeah.
and if it's not okay, I'm gonna make sure it's okay.
Mhm.
So it was like I always just was all in.
Yeah,
It wasn't like I just touched my toes a little bit and like, "Oh, that feels pretty good." It's like, "Nope, full swan dive in." So we bought the business, doing all that. You're still doing hair, and about 6 months in, I think I bit off more than I can
I
chew.
can't do this by
I
myself.
can't. Yeah, it was just I was working
Yeah.
on cars, I was running a business, we had employees, I was
Mhm.
doing everything, and again, we were working lots and lots of hours. I wasn't at home, that much with our family,
Right, and
and
Emmett was a sick baby.
yeah, I mean,
He would
he's
get ear
one yeah,
infections
constantly.
constantly,
Yeah,
and so I was having to leave work, and
yeah,
it was a lot, and
right.
so you asked me to leave
Or
my work,
yeah, I'm like, "You
and I
have
was
to
in a
leave."
transition time anyways, I wasn't in the happiest situation,
Right.
and so you asked me to come and do the book work and team up, and I think it took me 6 months to undo
My 6 months.
the 6 months of his book work.
Yeah,
It was so bad.
yeah.
He is the best with his hands. He's the best putting things together, but computer work was not your strong suit at the time. You've
No.
gotten so much better,
Mhm.
but yeah, I remember having this guy help me and he's like, "What did he do?" And we just fixed it, made it better, and
Well, that took a long time to figure out because I'm saying the business side of it
yeah.
because jumping in, it was always thinking, well, I need to work to make
We
money. I need to
Yeah, you
move my
can
body and hands to make money.
fix things is
Like
completely
computers
different
is
than
like,
taxes,
yeah,
payroll.
yeah.
We
I'm
had
like,
no idea what we were getting into.
right. And I'm like, doing bookwork's not actually making me money.
Right.
But then as I grew and matured in our business, I'm like, "Holy cow, that's where the money starts. That's how everything really is with the
It's with the
books."
estimate,
Yeah, and
the
estimates and
right
everything.
when somebody comes in.
So that was later maturing into, developing that side of the business, like becoming really focusing on like a manager and
Yeah.
also giving up some control, like I need guys now to do this certain task and trusting them they can do it to my standards,
And and our friends even commented, they always said, like, you always said the guys that work for us were, your coworkers. They weren't your employees. They were
Right.
you worked right with
With them.
them
Yep.
and respected
Right.
what they were doing for us. And
Yeah.
as we have taken care of them, and we've had guys with us this year's 10 years. We've had
Mhm.
some of them with us for
8.
7, 8. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
not from the beginning, but pretty close, and
Right.
that's a testament to the kind of boss you've been,
Right.
the kind of business you've ran. you put a lot behind it, and
right,
it shows.
right,
Yeah. You were the heart of this business.
yeah. But then letting go of it too, and I shouldn't say I'm not letting go of it, but, like, getting a manager now in there, to really that was so hard
Well, we
'cause
could never do a vacation.
right,
We could never go anywhere. So
yeah,
that changed our world.
but it was just trusting another individual that would pour their heart in
Yeah,
it as
Justin
much as
doesn't
I
think
did.
anybody can do anything as good as him. I'm just saying. No,
Yeah,
I'll be like, "Can we get somebody to help you build something or do something?" "No, they're not
yeah,
gonna do it as good as me. I'm just gonna do it and bitch that I can't hold something myself."
yeah,
You do that a lot, but you did finally trust in somebody else. I'm always we're still there. We still run our books.
right,
I would never let somebody else run our books. That would not happen, but we trusted in somebody taking over
right, but
and
it was
giving you
hard
time.
to do that because, again, like you just pointed out, like, it's never good enough for me or whatever,
Yeah,
and I think that was one of those things that was pounded deep in my head as a child as well, like, it was, in my eyes, never good enough,
mhm.
and to strive for this perfection and just to be acknowledged or praised like, "Hey, you did it," but it was still, I
Something
mean,
that you weren't used to ever hearing.
never. So it was
Yeah,
like I was always pushing myself to almost the breaking point, and it was like, how is anybody ever gonna be as good as me because I know how hard I've worked and how
right.
hard, like, I will not quit until I actually break or
Yeah,
fold. So I'm like, I'll never trust anybody that can do that, but I
right.
did, and that's where stuff changed. Yeah, there's a lot going on, during those younger years. We had a brand new business, a brand new family, brand new baby, a lot of news happening, and a lot of work, and I think with part of that, again, I'm gonna go back into the alcohol, was drinking because it was now that turned into a reward,
Well, you always said you just didn't know you, like, always were striving for more. And I was always like, "When is it enough?" And you're like, "When I hit this number, when I hit this number,"
Yeah,
and it was, like, constant work, always striving for more.
yep,
And you wanted more money, you wanted more bigger things, nicer stuff, all this, and I'm like, "It didn't matter," and I was like, "Where's this coming from?" And
yeah,
it was a lot of drinking
right,
that I didn't know was so bad in the beginning.
right, and it wasn't, I don't feel like it was, like, full blown yet. I mean, going with back to my family now, like, more family issues, my mom was going through a tough time.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize, I guess, how bad it was that she was going through because I was so buried in work.
Yeah,
And
Emmett was
then,
3 at this point.
yeah, family wasn't, we were worried about our family,
Yeah,
because
we were raising our
yeah,
kids.
we're raising our family. So I wasn't thinking
Mhm.
about my immediate family as much. And speed up a little bit, a mom going through her mental health issues and bipolar and borderline schizophrenic, who knows? These are just
These are what
turn
the doctors say.
yeah, this is what the doctors say, so she's on and off medication and, uh, find out we haven't heard from mom for a week, and then get a phone call from the
Well,
cops,
it was a
like,
couple days.
there's a couple days.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was a weekend.
a weekend, okay, yeah,
She
and
babysat Emmett Thursday, and we were leaving Friday to go
right,
out of town, and then Saturday morning.
yeah, find out mom's gone. My mom, she, took her own life, committed suicide, and that's when life again got real dark.
Dark.
Yeah, for me, because I didn't at that point when she had tried 2 other times taking her life, and the 3rd time she got it done, and I
And not without you trying to stop it. I mean,
right, we
we
did, we
tried to
knew she
help.
wasn't doing
Everybody
well.
tried to
Yeah,
help.
yeah,
She was going through her stuff, and we could see
there was nothing we could have did.
chaos.
Yeah, there was nothing we could have did, but besides the point, it was just seeing your mom, how she was where she did it, and then that implanted in my mind, and what's the first thing I wanna do? I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go hammer some beers," you know?
Well, and it was
Yeah.
whiskey at
Yeah.
that point.
Where I wanted to
You
do
listened to Bruce Springsteen on
eh,
repeat
on repeat one song,
and
yeah.
were chugging whiskey.
Yeah, "I'm on Fire" was the
Yeah,
song, and it was just like that's how I felt. I felt I'm on fire, you know, like, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to talk to, so I just drank, and then I would talk to my own demons,
yeah,
you
it was
know?
dark.
Yeah, and, from there from the outside picture, okay, I'm painting you all a picture of who Justin is at this period. I look great on the outside.
Right, you were the
I
most successful,
successful
functioning
functioning
alcoholic.
alcoholic, but on the inside, I was, like, breaking. I mean, there was just looking
Yeah.
back at it, it's pretty remarkable what I was capable to do on h
I
on
don't even
how
know how
how intoxicated and how messed up my life
I
was. I
asked
don't know how I did it.
we are so successful with
Mhm.
the path that you were on, and
Right.
it was so
Amazing, really, it
yeah, like,
is.
how
Not even
right, like I said,
real.
you're the most functioning, successful alcoholic I've ever met, and that's what
Right.
people saw,
Yep.
except the ones closest to us that
Right.
I tried to lean on or had
Right.
tried to help, but we painted a picture. I painted a picture for Emmett, I painted a
Yep.
picture for people around us. You know, they saw the new house, they saw the nice vehicles, they saw a successful business and, "Oh, they're making money, must be great,"
Right.
and it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, horrible for you on the inside, going through what you were going through, and horrible for me trying to pick up the pieces,
That's right.
but
Yeah, it was difficult, and then shortly after that, my best friend, brother from another mother dies, you know, and
right.
by accident, you know, and it wasn't too longer after mom had died, so that really was like my mom and my best friend's gone,
Well, you had just, like,
you know.
started to get a little bit better. You were kind of on the
Right,
uphill after your mom, you know.
right,
That's the thing is, like, he would get into these mo you would get into these moments,
yeah,
and then I'd have enough, and I'd be like, "You have to stop. You gotta get out of this," you know, and
r
you were kind of on a uphill again, and then you get the phone call about Jordy.
yeah, and then that was again
It's
wrecked me.
it threw you into
Yeah,
a
it
whirlwind.
did, like
You
one
were
big
good at first, you were
yeah,
strong, and then it just, like, crept back in, and it was like, "Okay, instead of a couple drinks, I'm gonna drink 6," and
so
that's where the sneaking, the lying, because you wanted to still appear to me
mhm.
that you had it together, even though I knew.
Yeah. So, it was just a lot of drinking, not good with somebody that's depressed and somebody on the inside that's dark, but
Grieving.
with one thing with that, I mean, now looking back out of it, I really see how hurt I was, but during the times it was happening, the alcohol was numbing my pain, so I didn't
It was
really
masking
it
everything.
it was, it really wasn't letting that stuff come to surface.
Unless you got
You know,
really,
unless I got really, really
really drunk,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then you would let those demons out and say,
yeah,
"I need help,
yeah, yep,
I" and go and
right,
let yourself go there or cry about your mom or feel. You didn't feel for
yeah,
years
right,
until you would get just drunk enough,
and then I'd start feeling,
and then you start feeling, and then it was just like a
yeah.
repetitive dark path.
So the time came where, as you can see, everybody, this is a lot of drinking, like, full-blown alcoholic, like, I did not know because I was so good at hiding it. I became very good at hiding, and, I mean, so good, you know?
Kind of good.
Yeah, and
Good
then
in
it
general.
right, and then it came to was like
Yeah, finding out, like, the amount you actually
yeah,
were doing and the stuff you actually were hiding
right.
shook me when you were like, "Oh,
Well, when I was
yeah."
honest,
You're
yeah,
like, "Yeah, I had, like, 12 beers before
right,
I even" or whatever, like, before I left work, I had so much down, and then how many on the way home, and,
yeah,
I was like, I knew you were drinking, I knew you were drinking too much. I mean, I thought, like, 3 or 4 was too much,
right,
and then
But it
Mhm.
came to the
Good.
ultimatum. I mean, like, how many times are we gonna keep doing this back and forth, quitting drinking, you
I had had
know?
enough.
Right, right, that's what I'm saying. This was and I could feel it through my bones, like, this
You
was
knew you were
yeah,
causing
I did. I knew this was, like, if I didn't do something now, I'm either
'cause you
gonna
always
die.
tried, you always
I did,
tried every time. He would quit
yeah.
drinking for months or
I think the longest was, like, 7 months.
he would try
Yeah,
throughout the 8 years.
right.
And, yeah, it finally came to the point I was like, "Get help or I'm done, and I'm taking the kid."
Yeah, like, no
Like,
drinking.
Emmett is not gonna be around you.
So, yeah, I mean, I just from there was this is it. We have to change. Keyword change. And I did not want to fully, but also it was like I was ready, you know? But this time was different. And the reason why it was different was because I finally started wanting. You
You
know,
picked
I
you.
yeah, I wanted to
You wanted to do it for
change.
you. It wasn't
Yes.
for me, it
Right.
wasn't for Emmett, my family, or anybody
It
else.
was
It
for
was for
me.
you.
It
You
was
finally chose to do it
for me.
for you.
Yeah, I didn't care what anybody
'Cause
thought
any
at
other
that
time, it
point.
was for me
It was.
or Emmett.
And that's what for all you listeners out there, like, that's with any addiction, it has to be with you. You cannot tell anybody to quit this. You can try, you could give them
Oh, yeah.
advice, but at the end of the day and this is with healing,
And you
I've
can
learned
ultimately walk away.
yeah, yeah, and this is with healing too, though. You can want to help somebody heal, but at the end of the day, it's them doing it, and if they don't want it, I'm sorry, it's not gonna work. No different than addiction. If I could tell you all day or whoever you need to quit smoking or you need to quit eating or whatever it
Mhm.
is, you know? And sure, yeah, let's try it. You want me to? I'll stick to your plan for a couple weeks,
Yeah, I
but
think you finally saw, like, because in that last year, you were pretty mean.
right.
You
I
changed. The
didn't
personality
yeah, I didn't like who I
shifted.
was.
7 years, you were just obnoxious.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's be and, unsafe.
yeah,
But that last year you switched and your personality switched and you
right.
were like, I think you finally saw, like, this isn't the person I wanna be. This isn't good. Especially Emmett was getting old enough to know and see, and he was calling him out, and you didn't like that.
I didn't.
And I think that made you realize, like, maybe some outside help would help.
Right.
So what'd you do?
So from there, it's head into a therapist, somebody to talk to at a therapy group. And we talked about addiction. We talked about my mom, talked about my best friend. We talked about childhood stuff. Really, I had never did this because I had such an ego and I was so I'm okay, that's not me that I thought I never
Tough.
yeah, tough. I never needed to do that. But then when I did and started talking to this girl, I was like, "Holy cow, this is making me feel again." And there was many sessions where I would start crying, and I'm like, "Why am I crying? Like, what is this?"
Well, you
And
were breaking the
yeah,
generational pattern of
right,
how many men, boys were taught, "Don't cry, don't share your feelings, you're weak.
right.
You're not a man.
Yeah, you can't
Who are
do
you?
that.
You're not a man if you share or if you feel."
Yeah, you're not supposed
I
to
mean, I've
feel.
had a man just recently tell me, like, "I don't feel," and I'm like,
Yeah,
"I I feel terrible for you."
yeah, it
Like,
is.
that's a bad feeling.
'Cause that's a
It was
programming,
programmed,
that they
and
had.
you were breaking it.
Right, 100%. I didn't know I mean, I did know, it just was interesting. So I started playing this not playing the system, I got good at feeling and healing.
Mhm.
I started talking and it just was natural, I wasn't lying. That's the biggest
Mm.
key takeaway here was the honesty now, like, because and checking myself, guys, like I'm saying I wanted to quit drinking. So, okay, check for Justin. I don't care if my wife thinks I need to. I don't care if my best friend, my family, it's Justin is all that matters right now. All right. Now Justin needs to heal. How do I heal? Well, I need to feel. Okay. Well, how do I feel? Okay, we need to go back to childhood. We need to go back to all these avenues, all these doors that I put band-aids, shut them, threw the key away.
Swept under the
Yeah,
rug,
swept under the rug. I want to go back and live all these memories.
and feeling them is hard.
I did.
Mm.
And I kept feeling, I mean, some memories,
I mean,
specific
still to this
memories
day.
yeah, to this day, I've relived the
You're
same
doing
memory
it
1,000 times or more, you know, but what I've realized as I've grown on my journey is how we can manipulate and change time and change our past and step into this new human, this new future, this new
Mhm.
being. It can be done, and that's another form of healing, you know, we'll maybe bring up a little later, but so after talking with this girl or my, shrink, a psychiatrist. I went from a week to 2 weeks to a month to 2 months to 3 months to 6 months to Justin, I think you're okay. And from there, like, being okay was you're like, "Hey, honey, you wanna get a massage?" You know, or something? "You wanna work on some self-care now with
Well,
you?"
yeah, I
And
invited, a couple in to give us couples
yeah,
massages, and they also do Reiki,
Reiki, yep,
with their massages, and you had a pretty
big moment. Yeah,
yeah.
so we're getting a massage. Well, first, I don't think I ever had a massage prior to this, and I would because I was very, like, uh, didn't
You've
want pe
had but you weren't, like, in love. You were like, "Yeah,
yeah.
it's good,"
Yeah, and I
but
didn't really care for people touching me, I guess, at that
oh, really?
point in my life, you know? Um, Now I love it, you know? But back then it was like I was kinda scared of what they would pick up on me and surrender and again, be vulnerable. I was scared to
Well,
be
the ego.
vulnerable. Yeah, you know, because I was taught this, not to be vulnerable, be tough, be
Or
macho,
let's be re
you
like,
know?
having a man give you a massage at the same point, you were like,
Oh, yeah.
"I don't
Right,
know,
right,
maybe."
right. Seeing all of that stuff.
Yeah, that
Um,
programmed stuff that
yeah. So I
yeah,
experienced, this Reiki, and my
his
hands
he
were
was just
coming
like
up into, like, a prayer position,
yeah,
and I'm laying on this massage
shaking.
table, and I'm vibrating and shaking, and I couldn't control it.
Mm-mm.
Knew I was doing it in my mind, but my body, I could not control my body. It was like my body had no control, and it was just doing what it was doing, but my mind was watching this, and so I
Mhm.
knew at that point, like, this is real because I just tried to go against it because
Right,
didn't wanna believe it was real, and there was no not believing it, you know, because it was as real could be.
right.
And so I had to find out more what that feeling was. Again, we're back on feeling. I didn't know, like, I had goosebumps. My body was shaking on this table. My hands were going into a prayer position that I remember as a child.
Did you see anything?
Yeah, I started seeing, like, bright, bright light. I mean,
Mhm.
bright, bright light, like you're looking at the sun, and I'm like, "What is this?" I didn't know at the time. Now I know what it was, or I know who it was, you know, but during that moment, I didn't, you know, I just it was very blinding, blinded by the light, you know, as they say,
Right.
and so I seek this out. I had to find somebody to learn these ways, you
Mhm.
know, and in that process, it was finding my teacher, Sandra.
Yeah, which I introduced to you
Yeah,
after
you
I had a session with
introduced,
her.
and mom and her were good friends and did things
Yeah,
together, and my sisters had went there for psychic readings,
right. What, I went
and
to
you
talk to
went
my mom.
for psychic reading, yeah, you know, she's a medium, so I didn't know this woman, though, but I knew she did Reiki, and I'm like, "Well, I'll learn from her." And then this is where we start seeing all the connections, like her and mom, and I didn't even know mom was, you know, like this, that
Well,
she
to
was,
find out
you
how
know
many people in our circle are were connected with your mom,
right, and then now I'm connected
and then,
to
like, what she was doing.
yeah, she was doing what we're doing
Was
now.
she mentally
Stable.
stable, or was it just crazy energy? Like, like, it
Well,
was
yeah, we'll go into that a
yeah,
little, back to mental health and spirituality, psychosis, all this
yeah,
stuff. They're just words, but I mean, if you didn't have words and can put a feeling on it and maybe draw a picture or painting of it
yeah.
so you can really see it and feel it. You know, so I went down this Reiki path and got attuned, and my gifts started opening up. And when I mention gifts, I start to see things a little clearer and I start really feeling people's thoughts and emotions.
And when
And
you say seeing things, what do you mean?
when I mean by seeing, like visions, like, kinda like a movie, like a play would happen of something, and I'm, like, watching a
Story?
movie like a story, like
Like
a
a story's being
or honestly, like, now on Facebook, Reels,
mhm,
so I'm seeing reels in my head about
and
everything,
not
like
knowing where they're
yeah,
yeah,
not really understanding them. Like, reels of angels, reels of, like, deja vu, as they call it, like, past lives,
right.
future lives.
Ancient.
Yeah, like, I can see my future lives, I can see stuff now, and I'm like, "What is all this?" And wasn't really that clear, it was kind of foggy a little bit. There were moments it would be clear, and then moments it would fog back over again, But regardless of the story or situation, I'm starting to open up. I can see things now, I can hear things, back to feeling. I'm feeling things, but I don't really understand the feelings, because and what I say about feeling is before there'd be an event, like whether it was Christmas or whatever it was, and I would get anxiety and I would get just huge, huge waves of anxiety, like I did not want to be there. And I would feel like, I don't know, gross or not in myself. And now I can look back on why it was a future event that I had seen and felt already, and it was trying to, like, signal, "Well, maybe you shouldn't go to that place, or maybe you
Mhm.
shouldn't be around these people," because the feeling, it's a vibration, it's a tone
Yeah,
that I could feel that was like my angels were saying, "Don't go here."
right. The
And
warning.
yeah, back to, like, angels, I've had so many of those even when I was a kid, teenager, boy, man, that I didn't know, but recalling back now, it's like, "Oh my god, that's what was happening."
Mm,
I just didn't know it?
wow.
So I had been connected earlier when I was a kid, I just didn't know it? I didn't think of it because I wasn't taught that way.
Yeah,
So I start really changing.
to say the least.
Right, changing. I mean, I go from this very egotistical, business owner driven,
Materialistic,
materialistic
when
man.
when was enough enough? That was always
Right,
the question,
right,
to,
right.
it not mattering.
Not mattering anymore. And then I
No.
start
Which is
complete 180.
yeah,
Yeah, so it was like I
360.
had all of this stuff and things and possessions and names and masks that I was wearing that I'm like, none of that really matters anymore.
Well, you
And
wanted a do-over too.
right.
You decided to have another kid,
Yeah.
you know?
After
I
8 years.
Yeah, I had said no.
Yeah.
I had put the kibosh on I wasn't gonna raise another child in your addiction.
Right.
And you're like, "I need a second chance. This is my second chance at life.
Yeah.
I am sober.
Yeah.
I will never touch alcohol again."
Yeah.
What's your sober date?
In September, so coming up here on 3 years.
3 years.
Yep.
So,
Real soon.
yeah, and we decided to have a baby so you could experience.
The baby stage, all of that, and an
And not to
experience.
say Emmett had a great life with you. You taught him a lot of wonderful things. When you were there, but you weren't as present as
Right,
you could be. You didn't get to teach him how you really truly wanted him to be raised,
right,
that you now deep down know the right way.
right,
We were still in our materialistic
right,
3D world, and that changed. It changed you a lot to have a child, it grounded you because you were on this.
I did, it brought me back down
He
to earth because I was learning so fast and
You were
so many
downloading
yeah,
so
so many
fast.
things, gifts were coming online, as they say. My
Well, and
awakening
you
was
got through
happening.
your beyond fast to a master,
Yeah,
which, right or wrong, it was your path
right,
and it was your journey. And it was a whirlwind, though. It was a whirlwind for your family because you were this man, country farming, working on cars, you know, things. I'm going to try different things all the time. Then now you're this zen, believing different thoughts,
right.
different feelings. And I was like, I had to figure you out again because I was changing too, but not as fast. not as fast as you, and I had to catch up and figure you out, um, and not good or bad, like, it was just you were just different. You were a new human. You had peeled off these negative layers. You shed the mask, you took it off, and this is your true self now. And you were like it or love it. This is who I am now,
I know, and it was very alarming and I know scary for you because it was, not that my looks changed a whole lot, you
except
know?
the long hair,
Yeah.
which I love now. It's fine.
Yeah, those are my energy extensions. Anyways, yeah, I changed a lot very quickly. With that being said, though, it was so much healing that I had went through that the onion story, I mean, that's a true metaphor of just peeling layer and layer out like an onion,
Mhm.
and I got down to the core of the onion, the little white thing,
Yeah.
and was like, "Holy, who is this guy?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, from there, it was like honesty. If there's a word for more honesty, like, like just beyond honest, it was like authenticity. That's what I'm going to go with.
Authenticity.
Yeah, it was that versus
Well, and
honest.
you said it a couple days ago. You're like, "I will not lie.
Yeah.
I
No,
c"
no, this is who I am. This is what I have to offer, but lying's done, and that was another hard
which
lesson I
is
went through,
huge.
dishonesty. So I had to know those lies and feel what it felt like to where now it's like, just be you and
Yeah.
show yourself out regardless if, and I had to accept that because I was flirting on the edge again with you, not because of drinking, but because I had changed so much that it was
I
scary to you. Yeah. And you're
questioned.
like, do I want to be with this man because I
Right.
don't know him now? I have to
Right.
relearn you.
When you talk about, like, committing to somebody forever, I had committed. I knew through your addiction who you truly were to your core,
Right.
I thought,
Right.
right? And then, okay, I get this sober man that I've been longing for, and then he's grabbed onto this other world of spirituality, which I had always dived into. I dove in. I introduced you, but I wasn't in deep. As deep as I am now, and I love where we're at now,
Mm.
and I can say I love where we're at now, but it was scary. I had to learn the new you, and I found my way, and Emmett and Lenny, but there were people that didn't love this new human, this man, and then there's people that have loved this, and we have, our soul family. I mean, can you touch on what it kinda did around you in your community?
Yeah. I think going out there too, and this new human podcast, this is what this is about is storytelling and seeing where people end up. I'm not saying everybody's like me because they're not, but we all have similarities in us, where
Yeah.
call them midlife crises, whatever. That was another term, it's people waking up spiritually. They call it a midlife crisis. Mine just happened a little early, And that being said is I was willing to not even if I lost you and the boys at that point, for me awakening, I was prepared for whatever consequences were coming because no matter what, at the end of the day, I chose me.
Mhm.
And it did not matter. I mean, you guys mattered, but it didn't as matter as much to me because it was like at that point, like I had to be me.
Right.
I couldn't be a fake me anymore, otherwise I would have been doing what I was doing earlier in my life, and that can only go for so long before I crack and break again. And I
Which
I
I
don't
loved,
Yeah,
but at the same time, I was like, "Hold up.
I know.
I've waited
Yeah, but and
these years."
that's what Lenny, our baby did to us, it
Well, he
grounded
did
me.
out of great appreciation to a friend, she suggested I not let you go, but, like, he needs to, like, explore, he needs to,
Find
like, come
myself.
into himself, he needs time by
Oh,
himself to just
fully.
really emerge into this person. I think you should let him go on a trip,
The Sedona.
Sedona, where it's the most energy, the most,
Yeah, it's an
where
energy hotspot,
yeah,
there's vortexes.
and let him
Find myself.
and then he'll come back down.
Yep.
He'll come back down and ground and be with you guys.
100%.
Because I was worried.
Yeah.
You were out there.
Yeah.
I mean, your thoughts and process and stuff was like, I mean, he's talking about living in a cabin by himself with nothing and no possessions and nothing mattered, and talking about the craziest conspiracies that I had never heard of
Yeah.
that now I completely understand, but I was taken aback,
Yeah.
and so you went on this healing journey out there. So many prolific things happened to you. Do you have any stories that you wanna share while you were out there?
Well, the biggest thing was when I was out there, so it was just I went on a week trip to Sedona, and again, for all you that don't know Sedona, it is a energy healing
In
place
Arizona?
in Arizona, United States. There are these vortexes there that some would say the veil's thinner there, so you can receive just healing energy from Mother Earth, which is true, not nearly enough of us spend enough time out in nature, and I
Right.
just happen to love nature.
Hug a tree,
Yeah, I mean, and so I was
give
doing,
thanks.
like, 12, 15 miles a day when I was out there, connecting with Mother Nature, just exploring, getting lost,
Meditating.
meditating. Yeah, all this stuff I wanted to do, but I didn't have anybody with me, and I did
Right.
not want anybody with me because this was about me again. It was about
Healing again.
healing and finding myself and unlocking this new human fully. Like, I was searching and chasing still,
'Cause you were doing
and
it for you,
yeah,
but you still knew deep down, even though you say, "I could let go of," you had a family, you had babies, you had a wife,
100%,
you
yeah.
had commitments.
I needed to be there, though, 100% for them,
Yeah,
and I couldn't be there 100% for you until I was
until you figured
100% for
you.
me.
Yeah.
So that's what that trip was all about, and I found that, was like, I found missing you guys, and
Yeah, oh,
uh
he said he wasn't gonna call us.
yeah,
He said he was gonna, like, have his I said, "You're gonna have your location on because 'cause you're
yeah,
climbing mountains," but
yeah,
he's like, "I'm not even gonna call you all week," and it
yeah,
was every night, and by okay, he left on a Tuesday, and by Friday, he's like, "I wish you were here with me.
yeah, I
I wish you
missed
got"
you.
Yeah, he missed us, and so
Yeah,
it's like you have to let him go,
right, to
which
miss them.
which I'm not good at. I like control.
Right,
I like to be the boss, and I'm letting go because you've shifted so much.
mhm,
Now I'm letting you step into the role that you were actually not meant to. I shouldn't say men, like, should be the leader, but it is the masculine way. You wanna protect, you want to give your all to us, and I you didn't get to do that for many
no,
years, so you're stepping into that role. I thought we kinda swapped places, and I let you lead.
yeah.
Not easy. Not dancing, though. I'll lead.
I was just singing in my head, "Life's a dance,"
Yeah, I know you were.
which it
I
is. I mean,
know.
life is a dance, and it's the
And it
dance is
shifted,
yeah,
and we shifted together,
right,
and you opened my eyes, and not that I had to do something to keep up, but at the same time, we compromise in marriage, and we compromise in relationships, and I knew that, like, I had to learn some of this stuff you were doing, and I had to meet you
right,
because I wanted to grow together. I
yeah,
knew this is my man. We
mhm,
have another 53 years. I think I have 52 years left. I say I'm gonna go at 93. A long time left together,
right,
and I've never wanted anybody else with this life.
right.
You chose us. You came back and chose us.
Yeah, and with choosing you guys, like, that's where your journey started to cross paths with mine again,
Yeah,
where now you're learning more about yourself, you're seeing too, and you're healing as well. Um,
and we started working together
yeah, and
instead of against each other,
right, working together, like becoming this
communicating and
yeah,
talking about deep things.
right, and becoming this whole being, not just, masculine and feminine, like, we're working on this
Yeah,
whole being, like you know, just,
we're all the same.
you know?
You're not better, I'm not better. It's
No.
just one.
But I wanted you to see, because it's like I felt so much, that I think anybody out there going through an awakening in the beginning, you're like, "Wow, I've been lied to about everything." And it's true, we have, but you have to find out for yourself.
Right.
And then once you start deprogramming all those programs and start stepping
I
into
was just thinking
your
that
hi
exact same
yeah,
word, deprogramming. It was
yeah,
just like
yeah, you start stepping into your subconscious mind, your higher self,
actually doing what we want
not what
because
others. Yeah,
we know it's right,
right, and I don't wanna
not
be
doing what everybody else
yeah, I don't wanna be like it.
told us to do
Right,
and think and be.
right. Yeah,
And
I
if
di
you don't feel comfortable in a space, don't go. If you
right.
don't feel comfortable around people, don't be around them.
Yeah, there's reasons for that.
If you don't like the work you're doing, don't do it. Find something that makes you happy. Like,
Yeah,
you don't want to take those pills,
right.
don't take them.
Yeah,
See what happens.
yeah. It's,
Have you started just really
everything. I mean, health-wise, government, business,
water?
belief,
I mean,
everything.
every single
Yeah,
thing. We don't have dyes. We don't do dyes in our food.
yeah.
We've all known it's bad.
Right, but you did it because you're following people, you're
Well,
following
who
your
doesn't like a
government, you're
Dorito or a
following
Gatorade?
right, or you're following your, religion, because you're told this, and that's where, like, again, me, I've been lied to about everything. It's I no longer at that point, I found out that this life is mine, and I'm going to do and be as authentic as I am. It's
Right,
not I'm not gonna let your belief contradict my belief,
right.
you
No
know?
apologies, but with kindness,
100%.
you know?
Yeah, and love and light,
Yeah,
like, it's just I'm not if I don't agree with something, I don't agree with it,
yeah.
because I'm being me now?
So, being a Reiki master at
Yeah.
this point, you've gone through this awakening, this spiritual journey. You are downloading, you're reading 2 to 3 books a week. What is being like a Reiki master practitioner mean to you now? Like, what are you gonna do with that?
Yes, it's a a life fulling agreement with God. Like this was part of my path and always will be my path. Reiki healing, energy work. And the reason is because I'm being true to myself, and true with others. And I truly, truly care about helping humanity, helping everybody. And, um, but I
True
know,
teacher.
yeah, and I know with that, if I was not fully healed and my best version of myself, I could not give my best to others. And that's why I think with healing and talking and trying to help others awaken, that I am good at it. Like I truly believe I am good at it is because I'm so passionate about it and I've went through the shit. I've had the experiences, all of them that I had to have and learn from because I need to know what that feels like when others are doing it,
Yeah,
and how they feel and
yeah.
how what addiction they're going through. I need to know, like, hey, I know how you're feeling because I felt that before. With this being said, all the feelings, again, back, I keep going into feeling.
Feeling.
I'm feeling that's how this is possible, and I can teach this is because I can feel it. And I hope deep down others can feel this too, when they look within and can feel and really just get quiet with themselves and shut off the phones, shut off everything. And if you could just have 5, 10 minutes together with yourself and God and just listen. Don't think, don't watch any of your thoughts, don't try to create a thought. Just go still and numb for 10 minutes and listen and see what you see what you feel, see what you hear. You're gonna hear, feel, see something,
Is
you
that how
know?
you're merging
That's how I'm connecting. Yeah, I'm
your
transcending.
3D
Yeah,
and explain 3D world to people that might not know exactly
yeah,
how are you merging your, like, spirituality
right,
self
right.
with your 3D world, and how are you what are you saying to those people that are scared or negative or have a maybe a disbelief
Right.
in kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, so they're just ideas, 3D, 4D, 5D, they're dimensions. 3D or even 2D, okay, when the 90s, we had 2D, they're cartoons. So when you're watching the old school cartoons, there's not dimension in there, there's not depth. So
Mhm.
that's 2D, and then 3D occurred, and that was depth, like now animated videos, of cartoons that's got depth and access,
And people,
yeah,
like, just us living
yeah, in this world too,
in
like,
this
that's
world.
what 3D is. 4th dimension now is, like, time. Now we start bringing in time, we start collapsing time. It's another depth dimension. Also, transformation is what people, I feel like, just think of 4D as time. In my eyes, it's transformation, transcendence, essentially, too, going on to the next chapter, and I've been there a lot, and some of us can get obsessed and just
Wanna stay there?
stay there because you just wanna keep transforming, transforming, transforming,
And you
you
do that
know?
through meditation
Yeah. Well,
or
no,
self-Reiki? What do
I'm
you how do you
no, this is
transcend
well, in the beginning, it was, yeah,
breath
meditation.
work?
Yeah, and now it's a lifestyle.
It's part of you.
It's part of me. I'm practicing all the time, every day, every minute, moment, second, and in that, there's glimpses where I get into the 5th dimension, and that
Mhm.
is of unconditional love. And in that dimension I mean, it's beautiful. You're
Right.
part of everything. I mean, everything. You're part of the birds, you're part of the tree, you're part of the snake that scares you,
This microphone's part of
the
us. Yeah.
microphone, the
Like,
wood
it's
on the
all
walls, everything. You start
pure love.
sinking into connection with the divine. And that place is very hard to stay in, but our ascended masters out there, like people know him as Jesus, Yeshua, Buddha, Krishna, Babaji, all these ascended
Mhm.
masters were in the 5th dimension and living at pure love.
Yeah.
And you could do no wrong to them because they're in such a high state of being that, they realize you are me and I am you. So, everything's a reflection and everything's just a state of being. And, yeah, so those are the dimensions, and those are what I'm working with right
Right.
now, and,
So what do you say to the people that think you're crazy? Or
I
think
that what I'm doing is woo-woo?
yeah, woo woo, black, dark,
Yeah.
negative. What do you say to that?
I honestly, like I said, I could say to myself, I don't care what they think, but I do care what they think because I want them to, again, at the end of the day, look within themselves.
Mhm.
This isn't about me and what I'm doing. This isn't about your God or your ascended master and what they're doing. This isn't about a past life, if you believe in, reincarnation. What this is about is you.
Mhm.
It's about you. And that's all that matters. And once you figure that out and stop looking for material, stop looking for
Validation.
validation from Jesus, from whoever. Like, look within the ego. Just finally look within and ask yourself those questions. Who am I?
Yeah.
And listen. And then at that point, your life starts to change and unravel. And I know because I can feel this so deeply. There are so many of us, or so many, yeah, of us humans out there that are lying to ourselves and aren't stepping into who they can be. And they know deep down who they can be, but they're just scared and want to be like everybody else.
Yeah.
That's my message is like, take the mask off. It's time for the new human to come out,
Yeah.
because once we all start doing that and live within our dharma, as they say, walking your true path, the world begins to change. There's no more wars. There's no more chaos. There doesn't need to be government because government was controlled to govern and to put ties and
You
to
said
keep,
control.
yeah, and use it as control.
Yeah.
But when you're living in your path in love, and like when I said that
We all
5D,
need guidance and a pathway.
that's transcending. But
Right.
once you get to a certain place, it's not needed because everybody's checking
Yeah.
themselves. So they don't need to check each other, you know?
Right, so you are this business owner, you own an automotive business,
Yes.
you are a Reiki master practitioner.
Right.
What's next? What's your next rabbit hole? What's your next
Avenue.
avenue? Where are you going?
Yeah. So we're gonna keep continuing running the automotive business, then move into this new human holistic studio we have going for ourselves.
We built our
That's
studio in February.
yes, that's the ultimate goal is focusing more attention on that and helping others with their path. I mean, really becoming a Reiki master for me has opened they were stepping stones and remembering who I was, and I will always continue and it'll always be a part of me, and I'm going to always continue teaching it. But there's other avenues and gifts that I'm pursuing, theta healing and, this other it's called the light spectrum shamanism, and that's, dealing with, um, ourselves.
Yeah, can you give me an example if somebody once you are a practitioner in this, what can
Yeah,
people expect?
so learning this will bring to the table a form of getting people into a theta wave. And for all you don't know what theta waves are, they're brain waves. And so kids, when they're from 0 to 2, are in, I believe it's delta waves. And that's almost like sleeping. And then from there is theta, and theta is a little bit faster of a wave. And but in theta, that's where subconscious thoughts and programming happens. So I want to help others deprogram themselves and reprogram
So you're
themselves.
talking like past trauma, anything that's happened in your life, you can
Habits. A program is something, it's a belief that could be from generation, ancestral, from your cell, a past life. These
and
are
past I mean,
programs that have been, that's in our DNA.
women, rape or men
Yeah,
and, molestation
all of
and
that stuff.
okay, so you're
It's a
talking like
program.
anything
Yeah. We're going to be reprogramming them. And the reason why I say that is then they can step into their higher self,
and
the
is
the
that
real
the
them.
light spectrum
Shamanism.
shamanism too?
Yeah.
Is that like a hypnosis
Yes.
or
Yeah, yeah. It's a
okay,
form of hypnotherapy.
okay.
Yeah, but it's, again, this is just one more form of healing,
Yeah,
like you're a sound
keep
healer,
adding it
I'm a
together.
Reiki master too, and we move energy through our
Yeah. We
chakras.
work together a lot
This
to
is just
move
another
it.
modality to do, and I think it's kinda more than that, it's me just stepping into myself a little bit further and unlocking all these gifts because when I keep saying gifts, guys, like, call me a magician
Well,
or
it's
or
like the
whatever, you
medicine
know?
man, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you're becoming who
yeah.
you're truly meant to be. I mean,
I'm
you said
remembering who I am.
you're a healer, you're a
Yeah,
teacher. So now it's time to these aren't meant to be kept.
no,
They're meant to be shared.
right. And we're going into this age right now
God give us these gifts
to
to
use and
use.
not to just put them on the shelf or the bookshelf
Why are
and
people waiting?
because
Like,
'cause we're scared. It
you
comes
know,
down to fear. What people don't know, they're scared of.
um,
No different than you.
yeah.
What you don't know, you're scared of, and that's back on, like, Reiki or energy healing or you know, mediums, any of this crazy woo woo, stuff
It's
that
not
people want to
crazy.
think, I know, but that's the name it gets. Yeah, and these are just all ideas, but once you experience them and kind of just be open
Yep.
to them, that's when the tables start to change.
Yeah.
So yeah, that being said, I mean
When are you
that's
doing this?
very soon in a couple weeks, heading out to my favorite place
Sedona
again,
again.
Sedona. That's kind of my recharging center and home, I should say. Like I think, yeah, I've definitely lived there a time or two in previous lives, but it's where it's a charging center for me and unlocking gifts. And so I go back out there. I'm gonna come back with hopefully some more knowledge and some more downloads, as they say.
So we can share at the
Yeah,
New Human Holistic Studio with our amazing
yeah.
clients,
Right.
and we can start healing even more
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal is to get our community on this path and journey, you
of
know?
holistic. We should be very we believe fully in God. I
Yeah,
mean, he source
100%.
is our foundation.
Yes.
So it's not we're not saying we don't believe,
Right.
it's not like religion didn't matter.
Yeah, we're just not
It's just
worshiping other deities. We're worshiping ourself and creator
right, and we
and realizing we're
right,
creator.
right, and we have a community
Yeah.
and like religions do,
Yeah.
and I think community is very important to have your soul tribe, to have your family.
Right.
And no different than people going to church, and whatever anybody wants to believe is completely fine. We're not
100%.
putting down
Yeah,
anybody's
there's no
beliefs
judgment or anything like that out there to
beyond
anybody.
no judgments because there's many gods to believe in, many ways to believe in, and who's to say you're wrong? Nobody's wrong.
Right.
We're we're just all learning,
Yeah.
and that's all we wanna continue to do
Yeah.
and teach,
Right.
if you wanna know,
Yeah,
right?
I think for me is teaching, like there's a reason why I have read so much, experienced so much, and then put it to work. I mean, because you can only have so much knowledge without turning it into wisdom, And wisdom is practice knowledge, it's putting it in together and actually using it. That's wisdom,
Yeah.
and I have that to share with many, many people out there. And
How are you sharing that with your children right now? Like,
yeah,
because that's our future, right? Our children, we always are saying that our children are our future.
yeah,
How do you share that with them?
I think what's different from how we were raised to how we're raising our children is we're letting them be who they need to be. So that's one of the biggest things I think that we can do just in general to give our kids is just let them be them.
Yeah.
And
Ask
yes,
the
yes,
questions.
we can guide them and be their shepherd, as I want to do with adults too. But at the end of the day, I don't want to portray my
Mm.
thoughts and my ideas on
Right,
other people. I just would like to, if you pick up a little bit and you like it, then maybe take it.
right,
But I'm not forcing this.
right.
So
Let's
as
keep
far
having a
as yeah,
conversation.
as far as like at the dinner table, like religion, God, I mean, we talk about it with our
Emmett
kids.
questions
Yeah,
us on our beliefs, and we
mhm,
ask him why he believes in his belief, and that's okay.
right,
We're all learning and growing,
right. And that's what this is about,
right?
is just at the end of the day, I think if you could let anybody just be them and be them without judging them, then they can fully be themselves, like fully be themselves. They don't have to copy you. They don't have to copy me. They don't have to copy Jesus. They don't have to copy all of this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
They can just be them. And
Mhm.
that's hard to do to not judge. It's hard
Be
not to look in the mirror.
authentic,
Yeah. And just, not judge. Like, am I pretty enough? Am I fat enough? Am I skinny enough? Am I good enough?
right?
Just to be
Our
okay
shadows,
with you.
letting go of our shadows.
Yeah, our image, our persona, our ego, letting it
We're
die.
all we're all a work in progress.
Right. But
Nobody
that's the beginning to find
Yeah,
yourself.
until you're that ascended master, nobody's
Right.
perfect. I mean,
No.
until you get to there. Like,
Yeah. Well, even
and
that, well, first, I think we're all perfect, because there is, I mean, look at you, what you can do. Look at what we're doing right now. That's pretty freaking awesome,
we're very blessed.
Yeah, it's amazing and just blessed for this day and blessed to share this story through
Yeah,
you
I'm so
guys and
glad.
to see through my eyes finally. I did not hold anything back. Again, I'm being
Right,
fully
and
myself.
there's deep dives you could rabbit holes
Oh
you could go into your
yeah.
story that
Right. And we
we
will
all have
another time
those.
too, but this I think this is a pretty clearly painted picture how
A
you
second chance
yeah,
that most people don't get.
right, that you
You're
got to see.
so lucky.
Right.
You overcame addiction. You've overcame your past. You're still overcoming. You're still a work in progress.
Yep.
You're learning, you're teaching, you're growing.
Mhm.
So, what does put this all together in your own words, what does new human mean to you?
Yeah. I mean, if you've been listening to this conversation for however how long we've been, everything I just said, a new human, and what do we think of as new? Like, okay, I was this guy, and then I was this other guy, and then I was this other guy, and then now I'm new again, and I'm becoming fully authentic. I'm stepping into my higher self fully and letting my soul shine. And it's not about me anymore. It's about this new human that is emerging.
It's
And I
beautiful.
truly believe that these new humans that are coming into this earth, like our son, they already have this consciousness. They have these downloads already implanted into
Yeah,
them that's easier for them to show than us older children of God because we've been taught other ways. And now, as we talked about our children and how we're raising them and letting them be them, it's easier for that new human in them to show up
yeah.
because they don't have all the programming.
So
So
lucky.
we are lucky. So, that being said, that is the story of Justin Klein. I hope you all enjoyed it. And
We'll go deep on some other
for
topics
sure,
here soon and
uh,
dive into those weird we asked our oldest son last night, "How weird are mom?" Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how weird are we? And he was like, "A 9." And I'm like, "No, I think we're like a 6 or a 7." And he's
yeah.
like, "I don't know." So, we're just gonna keep getting weird with you guys. And
Yeah,
I
and
say the
remember weird though
weird
is
is the
good.
best.
Yeah, because all of those guys out there, like,
Let's
let's go with Elvis Presley, like, in the '50s at the time, everybody was like, "This guy is crazy, like, look at him shake his hips."
Right.
Religions didn't like him, and then now looking back, he was
Yeah.
weird, but the weird's the new cool,
Yeah, let's
you
just
know?
all just be
You.
yeah,
Just be you.
just be you.
Yeah, so
Yeah, awesome.
yeah. So if anybody has any questions about anything or anything like that,
Tell them where they can reach us.
yeah. So we are on Facebook, the New Human Holistic Studio,
Yep,
and then our email is newhumanhs
HS.
at gmail.com. We're working on getting this podcast going on all
Yeah, we're
platforms.
working on websites, we're working on all
Website, yeah,
these, things, but you
yep,
can contact us, message us, make
for
appointments.
sure.
We're working Tuesday, Wednesday, Fridays at this point, mm,
At our
at
studio.
our studio all day while the kiddos are at school, and we're just we always just say, like, "1 new client," like, we love it, just like
Yeah, give us a shout,
yeah,
and even if it's just a talk or,
right, if you have questions, we love to talk about all these things that we're passionate about.
yeah.
Um,
And guidance, if there's just
we're still
anybody,
learning, so we just the
yeah,
more we can hear from you is the better.
right, and guidance to remember anybody out there, no matter how bad you're hurting or if you need anything just to talk to somebody, shoot
Yeah,
us an email, I'll give my
stop
number and,
stop out. Like,
we'll
we always
take
say,
care of
like,
you.
if you just need a
Yeah,
moment to, like, meditate, like,
yeah, or
we're a
talk.
place.
Yeah,
We're an open, safe place, so,
right on.
yeah.
Well, we love you guys, thank you for today, thank you for
Thank you.
interviewing me.
Yay.
Alright, ciao.